So we also have some great news from Liz Truss, who is the equalities minister for the Conservatives, who is just...
She's the one that Kemi is beneath, right?
Yeah, Kemi's her undersecretary. Yeah. And she is just blitzing through the left at the moment, and I think it's glorious.
Great,
so
yeah, carry on.
I wanted to talk about it. So this is also relating, obviously, to the unconscious bias training section, but the Huffington Post have released an article trying to smear her because she's going after them, in which they say she wants to denounce destructive forces on race and gender issues as tools of the left.
Correct
statement.
Not just correct statement, correct framing. Exactly correct framing.
So she has clearly versed herself well on this.
Yes.
And the smear is, well, you may want to get rid of these issues, but did you know your department has a gender wage gap?
Yes.
And the wording here is, under Truss, women earn on average 15.9% less than their male counterparts. 3 years earlier, the gap stood at 2.7%.
Okay, but she now has to explain, or the Huffington Post, now have to explain why they shouldn't earn 15.9% less.
Yeah, the key point being earn, not paid.
Yeah.
Earn.
Where is the injustice that is being done? Are they alleging an injustice?
Not that I could see in the article, no.
No, they're just saying, well, we don't like the outcome here. Well, too bad. The process was followed correctly, I assume, and we ended up with this outcome, and therefore that's the just outcome.
Of course, the Huffington Post being a left-wing outlet, they instantly reach for the Labour Party shadow minister on women's issues to get a comment. And her comment was, it raises serious questions about the government's commitment to closing the gender pay gap.
Yes. That's not a conservative position. The gender pay gap is justified if women in aggregate earn less money than men.
But you see the little Freudian slip there. They're admitting it's an earnings gap.
Yeah.
But then when they ask the Labour person, they say it's a pay gap.
Well, that's true. But I love it. The questions about the government's commitment to closing the gender pay gap. The government should just come out and say, we don't have a commitment to that. That's a communist commitment. We're not communists. We're all for the free market, and the free market means everyone's going to be different and hopefully free, reaching their potential. And then they can start going into a big speech about how actually this is about how human achievement works. Look at the Pareto distribution. We can't expect everyone to be the same, but we can make sure that the people who are working hard and earning freely get what they deserve. So unlike the communists.
It's your lucky day, Carl. They didn't go quite that far. But they
are listening.
But this is obviously proving, she's saying this nonsense is just tools of the left to beat us with. Yep. And then they reach out to the leftists who then use it as a tool to beat them with. She's like, you proved my point. Well, this isn't a smear. This is just proving me right.
Yeah.
So,
but they're absolutely right, because there's no winning within this framework. If it's set up by the left will win. Sorry, go on.
So the next article is, I think it's the Telegraph, reporting on what she's actually doing in her speech.
Right.
So she wants to pivot away from fashionable race, sexuality, and gender issues to focus on poverty in inequalities overall. So the fact that people...
That's what a white supremacist would say.
Yeah, funnily enough, she thinks that if you're poor, living in poverty might be a bigger indicator of your chances in life than having brown skin. It's like...
Rishi Sunak's like, well, I don't know about that.
Like Obama over here is like, well,
yeah.
Could you please think of me in this stuff? No. Anyway, so the quotes from here that are good is that she denounced identity politics, loud lobby groups, and the idea of lived experience.
Yep.
Just put it in the bin.
Good. That's literally everything about leftist activism destroyed.
Yep. She will outline a pivot away from quotas, targets, unconscious bias training, and diversity statements to improve equality, dismissing them as tools of the left, and do nothing to fix systems.
Bang on. Absolutely bang on. And what this is a kind of beginning of the deconstruction of the administrative state. If you are trying to fix systems, meaning society, presumably, then beginning to repeal this ethos that allows them to start meddling in everything, good start. Very good start.
Very good. Yeah. So you mentioned her speech. So her speech entitled "The New Fight for Fairness," we will set out fresh conservative values. So they're arguing from a value perspective that no, this is not a conservative issue. What you guys are doing, we're going to do conservative things.
Okay.
Which good. So she lists them as freedom, choice, opportunity, and individual humanity and dignity.
So liberal values.
Yeah, bit vague on the end of there, but
sure.
The rest of it, freedom, choice,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what you should be arguing for.
Yeah.
That's why the earning gaps exist, because of choice.
Yeah, and freedom, and opportunity, and individual humanity, and dignity, in fact. So, I mean, she's doing pretty great, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, so you're getting what you asked for.
Yeah.
She also criticises the narrow focus on protected characteristics set out by the 2010 Equality Act, which include age, gender, disability, racial, blah, blah, blah,
gender reassignment, race, religion, sex.
You know the song by now, don't you?
Yep.
So the point being made that this doesn't actually help anyone, and we ought to be checking on other things, which is totally true. There's also one more quote here. Sorry, I didn't see it. The emphasis on these categories has led to the narrowing of the equality debate that overlooks socio-economic factors and geographic inequality. The fact that if you're born in the North, there are a lot more issues between someone who's born in the North and the South than a white and a black person born in a rich area of London.
No, I totally agree. I mean, what she's saying is essentially there's no essential connection to disability and poverty, or gender reassignment and poverty, or race and poverty, but there is to poverty and accomplishment. Things like this.
Poverty and being rich
yes.
are more important. I don't know how it took us this long, but yes.
And weirdly, like the pre-intersectional left totally agreed with that. Totally agreed with all of that. This is how they've subverted you, leftists, by the way. This is how they got you, to suggest that these things were equivalents when they are not. And like Jordan Peterson says, would you rather be a minority, or would you rather be ugly? You know, and everyone was like, I'd rather be a minority, because nobody wants to be ugly, because everyone knows that there are other factors in life that are way more important than your skin color.
Exactly, and she's making the point even more stark here, that would you rather live in poverty or have brown skin?
Yeah. I'd rather have brown skin.
It's fine.
Obviously. And a full belly, thank you, you know.
Like, if you were asking this question in, I don't know, like, slave-era America...
Yeah, sure.
You could get the debate. But,
sure, yeah.
But that proves the point that this is not the big issue that everyone makes it out to be.
not normally very pressing, is it, to most people's lives?
No. So there's some good news in this as well, which is that there was a poll done of Conservative Party members. I think it was Conservative Home did this. And if you can scroll down to the graph on here, there's a graph just showing who's the most popular, who's the least popular. And look at Liz Truss at the top there, 75 points ahead. That's also because she's been doing all the trade deals. She's been going country to country, getting them for Brexit.
Yeah.
And you can see Boris down there at 2.9. Yeah,
but Boris is only marginally above Matt Hancock.
Yeah.
The greasy lizard man himself. Come on, Boris. You should have been saying what Liz Truss has been saying.
You can argue that, well, you know, he's more in the public eye, therefore
that's
he's got
why he should
more
be saying it.
In the sense that he's got more responsibilities and she's got less, therefore it's easier for her to get these highs and lows, like Gavin Williamson being the lowest, because, you know, Prime Ministers are usually around the middle.
Sure.
But if you look at the Home Secretary there, you know, endless praise from Conservatives, but she's only at 49.
Look at Raab. Raab at 63%. And the funny thing is, the Labour Party, right? The other day I saw this and I posted it to the Lotus Eaters Facebook page. So follow us on Facebook, obviously, and we should be streaming live to Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, hello. Well, they've got a list of Conservative quotes taken out of context, and one of them is Dominic Raab, feminists are obnoxious bigots. And I just retweeted, well, you know, you guys are still doing campaigning work for the Conservatives here. You're not affecting the approval of these people when you bring out them saying, I don't like the left and I think they're morally deformed, basically. And Boris should have been doing that on day one, and he should have been like Trump. He should have been just full-on assault on the moral values underpinning left-wing philosophy.
Yeah, it's such a shame to see him not engaging in this, because he should be trumpeting this himself. He should be standing there with Liz Truss, rolling this out.
Yeah, because, I mean, I like Boris a lot as a person, as a character, you know. I think he's actually, you know, rather amiable, and I quite like watching him and listening to him.
It's not like he's been dealt an easy hand with coronavirus, I get it.
Sure.
But you've had a lot of opportunities here that you've let go.
Yeah.
It's a massive shame.
Yes.
So there's one more thing in this this particular story that I find amazing, which is the response from a lovely left-wing MP called Dawn Butler. If we can get that up.
Dawn Butler, for anyone who doesn't know, is a very sane person and definitely not a racist.
So I want you to read this out if you can, actually.
Tories trying to resuscitate racism. They're desperately trying to keep racism alive. Stay woke, stay strong, stay anti-racist. Note that she's running scared from Parliament, and unfortunately we can't raise a UQ because Tories are shutting down Parliament today. Thinking face. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's just the white supremacy keeping you under the heel, Miss Member of Parliament. I don't know what to tell you. Stay woke, stay strong, stay anti-racist.
I love how she's also blowing out her ally, who is quoted in the BBC article saying, "Oh, to call this woke nonsense is a dangerous area to be." Well, what about when you're the opposition MPs are saying it's woke?
Yeah, we are woke nonsense. God damn it. But again, in everything that the left does, it's raw projection. The Tories are trying to resuscitate racism. They're trying to keep racism alive. No. You are trying to keep racism alive. This is what you do. Racism is Dawn Butler's meal ticket. Because like most of these left-wing MPs, and it's not whether they're... it's not about them being part of the demographic, but it's about the fact they can use the fact that they are part of a demographic as a shield against criticism. And so any kind of, what does Dawn Butler ever say that's insightful? Like, what does Jess Phillips say that's insightful, other than I'm black, I'm a woman, I'm this?
David Lammy's a better example as well.
David Lammy's a perfect example of this. I've yet to see a policeman around here. It's right behind you, David.
The funniest one in human history has to be the BBC were talking about the smoke when the Pope was being elected being black or white, and he retweeted it with, "Is there any reason to bring race into this?" It's like, just these people are not serious.
For anyone who doesn't know, the black or white smoke, what was the reason for it? You looked up, didn't you?
It's whether they've decided the Pope or not decided him yet. They have another vote.
Yeah, but no, it's about black or white skin.
Yeah.
David, you idiot.
But that's what these Labour MPs do. It's they're obsessed with race to the point that they just endlessly talk about it, even when it's clearly not appropriate.
Yeah. And even when it seems to be them clearly covering up their own intellectual failings, frankly.
Yeah, which is why it's justified to call these people race baiters or things like this.
It's because they are. They're racist.
What else do you call a person that gets obsessed with race from smoke?
I don't know, a racist. I mean, David Lammy isn't exactly our best and brightest. He was on Mastermind a few years back, and they were like, oh, what was Henry VI's or Henry VII's son? And he was like, Henry VI? And it's like, that's his dad. You moron. And you can see afterwards he was just like, damn it, I'm such an idiot. It's like, yes. But anyway, right, I'll add a bit on to the end of this, because the reason, right, that I loathe the activists who engage in all of this sort of stuff is because the rules that they set for you are rules that they themselves will not follow. And we have a perfect example today in Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo, who was fined €90,000, so $100,000, by France's Ministry of Public Service for appointing too many women as city officials. Obviously, feminists had lobbied the French government to make sure that there was a law that dictated that men and women must be represented in local government at a rate of at least 40% each. So they had 40% female representation because, you know what, patriarchy, blah, 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 right? In 2018, her office hired 11 women and 5 men, giving women a 69% majority for these new appointments. So you'd be like, well, why did you break your own rule? You wanted the rule, you've broken the rule, and then when she comes out, as reported by Slate, she comes out and says, I'm happy to announce we've been fined. The management of City Hall has all of a sudden become far too feminist. Yeah, you set it so there could be a thing as too feminist by demanding a minimum for each gender. And when that, when you're given this position of power, you're like, no, I don't care about these rules that I endorsed. I don't care about this. I'm now proud that I cost the taxpayer money for my ideology. Bragging about it was too feminist. Yes, it's too feminist. It should be 0% feminist, which doesn't mean 0% female. But
what's wrong with calling wasting taxpayer money for your ideology corruption? How is that not corruption?
I would suggest it is corruption, yeah. I mean, she broke the law deliberately. She's proud of the fact. She's bragging to other feminists.
I've wasted €90,000, haha.
Yeah, Slate and all of the other, Huffington Post, all these, Jezebel styles. Oh, she's such a hero of feminism. It's like, really, a hero of feminism is openly corrupt and openly breaks the rules that they themselves lobbied for. That's what a hero of feminism is. Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it?
But that's the thing I can't stand about it. It's like, look, I don't care what laws you're lobbying for. I don't care what you're asking for, because I know fundamentally you don't believe in them. And the second you get the opportunity to step over the line, you're going to do it and be like, yeah, I did a good thing. To hell with you. To hell with them all. Anyway, that's me pissed off now. But otherwise, it's really good news. Yeah, otherwise, really good news.
We've been complaining about this. So the equality, the Conservatives should do X, and the Conservatives are now doing X. And I'm like, fair play. What?
Small clap. Well done. Yeah.
I wish the framing had been a little bit better, as you said, with saying it's inherently evil.
You can't have everything.
But, Kemi's only the undersecretary.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should get a poster of Kemi, actually.
No, it'd be like... you ever go to an old British club that always have like a portrait of the Queen in the dining hall? Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah. I would pledge allegiance. 10 out of 10.
Oh, God, I hope she doesn't watch this.
Oh, maybe she will.
Actually, I hope she does.
Yeah,
you're doing great.
Yeah.